Bit of an awkward intro because I got my phone in my other hand. Hello everyone, that's staying pocket. Welcome to another episode of music, not music of the week or month. Catch up chaos, that's what I'm doing. It's been a while. It's June and this is for the March catch ups. So that means you should expect the April one, maybe in August, I don't know. But I'm gonna go through, the albums in March that I quite liked, and for the main portion, I'm going to talk about the stuff I really enjoyed. So, for March, in order, we have Carrion Spring with Those We've Lost and Continue to Lose, Chalk Hands with The Line That Shaped the Coast of Us, Chocacorn and the Sugarcanes with Todos os Chaos Americum OQ. I'm definitely not saying any of that correctly. The Dusk Fall with The Everlasting Shadows, Error with Silence Outlives the Earth, The Fence Sitters with Picture Day, Filters Eternal with Impossible World, Football Head with Weight of the Truth, Free Throw with Moments Before the Wind, Good Riddance with Before the World Caves In, Grail God with Still No Future, Hit Like a Girl with Burning at Both Ends, Lamb of God with Into Oblivion, Monosphere with Amnesia, Never Easy with I Still Care, No Moss with No Peace, Pipe Bomb with Hellhole, Poison the Well with Peace and Place, The Scratch with Pull Like a Dog, Shoreline with Is This the Low Point or the Moment After, Take the Flame with A New Life, Vile with Hellhound, and Vicious Rain with The Anatomy of Surviving. So let's go through the ones I actually really liked, although listen to all of them whenever you get the time, because good stuff. First off, we have Chalk Hands with The Line That Shapes the Coast of Us, and this is just some really bloody interesting post-hardcore sort of emo, sort of like mid to late 2010s emo vibe, I want to say. Yeah, I really liked it. I like the main themes of confronting death and running from your problems, and I like to think that there's like a concept revolving around a relationship with that death. I mean, it felt like it to me. The vocals are really good, but I think it's the production that I think it's a production that really helps to elevate a lot of the aspects of the album for me personally. There's a lot of really good writing on hand, and the mixing is fantastic. The instrumentation is really good as well. It's got that crushing and emotive vibe that I think that style of post-hardcore should have, and it's really good when a band actually does it correctly. My hair is a little bit out of place. Also, if you can hear the fan, it is quite warm, and I'm a tad sweaty. I just did the dishes, so moving on. Really good themes, really good performances though, as well. Again, vocalist really good. All the bandmates have really good chemistry with each other. I can't really think of an aspect I didn't like. I haven't gone over the structuring. I think it's structured quite well. Last few songs, really good closes. I feel like there's some aspects that could have maybe been a tiny bit stronger. But for what we got, and considering this is my first album by this band, and I don't know how far they are into their career, a really good start for me listening to them. And yeah, just really enjoyable and really good emotional hardcore. If you feel like you need a bit of a cry, but like a sort of a happy cry, not a huge cry, small cry, I recommend giving it a go. Next, we have The Duskfall with The Everlasting Shadows. I have been literally asking for this one, because this was supposed to come out back in 2018. I actually didn't know it would come out in March until, like, recently. I think I was gathering stuff for my April listens, and sort of spoilers about this work. So on my OneDrive, I have a file of, like, all these things, like, all the albums. I have one titled Albums. And, for the future, I've got, like, the album, like, the band name, the album title, and the month it's supposed to come out in. And for if there's an unknown release date, there'll be a few question marks. Like, it'll just be 3 question marks instead of, like, for January that'd be JAN, February FEB, etc. And if there's an unknown album release date, it'll just have 3 question marks. So at the start of each month, when I'm gathering for the albums for that month, or like in the middle of the month in this case, because I've got to do my May stuff, I will look up any of the albums that don't have a known release, and when I was looking up the stuff for April, I found out that the Dustfall finally released this one in March. And it's really fucking good. This is a Swedish melodic death metal band I've been aware of for a while. Sorry for the long lead up to this, but yeah, I actually wrote on their Facebook wall back in 2018 when it was supposed to come out that the band was still not sure when it would come out. It turns out almost a decade after I asked them, but I'm glad it's out and I'm glad it fucking rules. This is it is a really good bit of Swedish melodeath, and this is arguably the band that sort of got me into like melodeath in general, because I remember being young, playing the game The Darkness, and spending a lot of my time listening to the music stations, because you could find like TVs planted around and you could just go to different like music channels, and I would just put on like the main rock channel, And the first song off that would be Shoot It In by the Duskfall, which is my recommended like Melodeath song for anyone trying to get into the genre. It's really fucking good. And yeah, this album is really good as well. Really love the writing. There is so much strength to like the instrumentation writing, especially. I love the guitar work. The guitar solos are really, really good, and the band just kill it. I couldn't find a whole lot for lyrical themes. That is why you're witnessing the certain cut, because I just went looking, because I meant to look before I recorded this bit and I forgot. I couldn't find a whole lot, and you know, I never trust the AI thing, but like it mentioned something about it being about the frontman's personal struggles with mental health and loss, and maybe that plays a part in it. Maybe those are things that got worse. Like, if it is true, because again, I don't trust the AI, but like, maybe there are things that could have gotten worse in the 8 years since the album was supposed to come out, so I don't know, but I think the writing is really, really strong, and there's a really good sense of forwardness to the pacing as well, and that carries on well into the last few songs. I do think the last song is a bit too short, though. I feel like it could have been switched with, I think there's like 9 songs, and it could have been switched with either of the last two before the final song. So, yeah, if it had done that, I think it would have ended a bit more perfectly, but it ends well enough for me. I like the performances, vocals are really good. I think it's the guitars that stand out the most to me, just in terms of instrumentation and performance-wise as well. Really solid mix. Again, I love the chunk of the mix. You know, I like really nicely mixed death metal, and I don't get to listen to it enough. So, having that from this band, who not a lot of people have heard of when it comes to death metal, I highly doubt that the Duskfall are on like anyone's forefront when it comes to Melodeath. Fix that by listening to this album, because it's pretty fucking good Melodeath. Strong pacing, really good writing, performances, yeah. And I like that there's a bit more melody worked into a lot of the areas as well. I think that's a big help in why so much of the songwriting works. Next we have Error with their new album Silence Outlives the Earth. This is a pretty big metalcore band. I would argue it's the biggest band I'm talking about in this video. This is a band I've always liked, but haven't been as super crazy about as a lot of people have. I know that they're like they've been making pretty big waves in metalcore, and they've also been around for I think a lot longer than people realize. Definitely longer than I realized, because I think I listened to their album that came out in 2022, 2023. It was some point after 2020. I know that much. Again, text will be here if necessary. But I really enjoyed this one. It's probably my favourite of the Error albums I've listened to. It was really nicely paced, and also any song that ends with like a 1, 2, 3 Roman numerical, both work sequence, and those songs are titled because I do have open another tab. 1, The Many Names of God. 2, In the Gut of the Wolf, and 3, Twilight and the Reflection of Dreams. And those tying into the album's main themes from what little I could find about like hope and despair, and depending on how you live your life, which one will last after you're gone. Yeah, it's really well realized themes. There's really good bits of melody, but there's like the harder things as well that hit and land. And I think those are really good motifs that are in the album's lyrics as well as the album's music. Production's really good as well. This has always been a really well produced band in terms of metalcore, and like for modern metalcore to be this well produced without it feeling too polished, like it's just the right amount. That's something I've always appreciated about Error, even if I haven't always like wanted to go back to listen to their stuff. I do appreciate how it sounds at the very least, and of all the Error albums I've listened to, this is probably the best they've sounded in my opinion. Performances are fantastic. I like the vocal work a lot. I think it's the drums that stand out to me the most there, but top-notch chemistry from everyone involved. The vocals done by lead singer JT Cavey, who I think did write the lyrics as well. Really good work from him, and really good work from pretty much everybody. Pacing's really solid, besides the last 3 songs I wrote, which are really good. There's a lot of really good building blocks to that point. There's not really many weaknesses. There's maybe like a couple of songs in the middle that feel maybe like a tad by them in numbers, but there's still some good stuff, and I felt like they would be more generic, but I've listened to the album a couple more times since then, and I've come around to them a little bit more. But yeah, still really enjoyable. Solid pacing, really good mix, really good work rate, and yeah, instrumentation is really bloody solid. I like the guitar work, and there's some really bloody good breakdowns as well. But again, it is mostly the last 3 songs of the album that really are what carry it, but the first 8 before that also are quite good. So, if there is a band you've been wanting to get into, I would recommend this being the first album for you to try by them. So maybe give it a spin if they're a band you've heard about and you're just like, oh, people are like talking this band up. I'd recommend starting with this one. Next up, we have the Fence Sitters with Picture Day. I will warn when it comes to looking for this album on Google, it likes to space out the word Fence Sitters into two different words, fence and sitters, but the band spell it as one word, so it's just Fence Sitters, but Google will lie to you, and don't let it fucking lie to you, because it keeps lying to me, so don't let it lie to you. Anyway, this is some really good indie folky leaning emo that I can only compare to AJJ, and that's based on only listening to one AJJ album, but that album was Disposable Everything, which is a really fucking good album. And the Fence Sitters are a band who I think are still in the early stages of their career. I think this is maybe their debut or sophomore effort, and really fucking enjoyed it. I think that's been the main theme for most of this video, but I did quite like it. Ugh. I had to uncross my, well, I was going to say my legs, no, my ankles a little bit there. I had to switch them around. That's not information you needed, but now you have it. But I really like this, which goes with that saying, which is what I'm talking about in the video. I like the lyrics as well. There's really good writing, mostly about teenage years and like the ups and downs that come with it. There's some darkness to the writing as well. There's like songs about meeting friends online and just wanting to feel the freedom of being a teenager, but also there's songs about sleep deprivation and possibly abuse. I couldn't really find a whole lot from that, and I couldn't glean a whole bunch, even though the lyrics are all on the Bandcamp. My brain is just too dumb to put the cohesion of it together, but the cohesion and the structuring is really good. That's a segue. It's not a good one, but it is a segue. But I like the pacing. It closes really strongly as well. There's really nice moments, and I always like it when bands in like the indie, folky, rocky, emo scene include parts which are just like ad-libs, because there's like a few songs where there's just a bunch of people talking and they're just like saying random shit about things they've done, and it just adds to the sense of fun that the album has. It is a dark sense of fun, but it's not pitch black, and it's, you know, sort of a realistic and grounded feeling album in terms of that, which I think helps, and is shown in the pacing, the production as well. I love how raw and open the cut feels on this. It's really, really good. Especially on the latest songs on the album, I feel like the production quality is boosted up a little bit by not feeling overbearing. Performances are great as well. There's 5 members of the band, I believe. I almost said 4, 5 members of the band, and really fun. The band are just really fun to listen to. They put in some really good work. I like the instrumentation. It's just got that. It's just got that really nice, fun bounce that the genre is really good at when it wants to excel. That's not a sentence that makes a bunch of sense, but it's staying. But the band really do their best with that, and I think they do a really fucking good job for a band that's still, again, to my knowledge, quite early in. Yeah, pacing's really fucking good. Instrumentation is really good. I like the writing. The lyrics are quite good. Performances, I enjoy. Production, performances, lyrics, instrumentation, pacing. You know, I've gone over that, everything. I'm just making sure in my head. But I would recommend giving this a go if you're someone who's trying to get in. I don't know why I was looking at the album title that I've got written down. I don't have a script. There's just all the top of me doom, you see. That's me why I did that voice, but good work all in all, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the next one, because this is a band that shows a lot of promise, so enjoyed it. Next we have Football Head and their album Way to the Truth. If I can describe this in one album in one term, sod it. It's a bit like, so it's sort of a alt-rocky, grungy, slight hardcore vibe, with very like late 90s, early 2000s feeling, and it feels a bit like Blood Youth, like Starve era Blood Youth, but without the screaming, I guess is the best comparison I could make. And I really enjoy this one. Also, I enjoy a band that makes a reference to a cartoon show I liked, because I'm assuming the Football Head is a reference to A. Arnold. I used to watch the show a lot as a kid. I enjoyed that show, so thanks for the little bit of nostalgia in terms of the show, and also the throwback sound that you're going for, which I do appreciate. And also just thanks for, they're not watching it, but thank you. Thank you for making a really fucking good album that deals quite seriously with the with grief as a theme. Like the main theme that runs through the album's writing is coping with it and learning to deal with it and not run away. And it's quite well handled in that phrase, in that sense. Really like the band work the most, I would say. The vocals are fucking amazing. They do have that really nice sort of, again, that nice throwback vibe, which I think has helped out a lot with the guitars. It honestly does feel a bit like a lighter sounding Korn, I guess would be the best way to put it, even though I put it a different way earlier. It's a mix of that, I think. Really good instrumentation though. I like how the guitar feels. It's got really good pacing, so like for an album that feels like it feels like it should be longer, but it gets as much in as it needs to. You know, it maximizes minutes and yeah, really balanced and measured pacing. I think that is a really strong point, probably the strongest point about the album. I enjoy the performance as well. Whoever does the bass does a really fucking good job. Again, Tex will be here to say what that person's name is. And really good vocals too. Honestly, there's just a lot of really good. I need to come up with more ways of saying really good. I just don't have them in my head because I'm not a smart man. But I'll stay. But yeah, really good. See again, really good instrumentation. I like the guitar work. There's a lot of really good like smooth crunch to it. The production on the guitar is really good, and the production on the entire album is really good. It does a really nice job of distilling, again, that throwback vibe, but putting it in a really nice modern scope, which I appreciate. Band's good, instrumentation really good, production really, really, really good. I like the pacing again, really strong, and the main lyrical themes are proper good in that. I don't know what the hell that was with my accent, but it'll stay. A lot of things in this video will stay. This album's good. So, yeah, I recommend giving it a go if you're going for a band that has a nostalgic sound, I would say. I don't know if they've always sounded like this because it's my first album by them and I don't know how far into their career they are. But I recommend giving it a go if you're looking for something that sounds like anything I've said. I'm not good at this. Next we have Grailguard with their album Still No Future. I think this is a debut. Again, I'm not sure how early it is into this band's career. This is my first album by them. And it might be maybe my favourite album I'm talking about today. Really fucking good British hardcore punk with amazing themes relating to like the inherent racism in the UK and the anti-immigration stuff. It's if I could describe it in one phrase, it would be like Joy's an Act of Resistance, but with the angst turned all the way the fuck up. And it just works. Holy hell! I'm also not as post-punky, more hardcore and like classic feeling punky. But holy fuck, the lyrics in this album are fucking great. There's a lot of really great themes of like, again, the systemic racism and and the oppression that keeps going on in the UK. And it's sort of interesting that the album came up when it did, because I can only assume that when the band were recording it, while they were recording it, I'm assuming the band is from like the London area or something, just judging by how the lead singer sounds. By the way, I appreciate a British band and like a British lead singer that doesn't try and sound American, because it makes it interesting for me to try and guess their accents. And I think, judging by the way he talks, he's somewhere south in England. And I can only assume that in the south of England, when the whole like racial colours thing was going on, that they saw a bunch of racists also raising flags outside their windows. And, on poles and shit. And I imagine that adds like a strength to the lyrics and the wording on the album in particular that are really fucking good. And I fucking love that about it. I love a lot about the album. The instrumentation is hard, heavy, and fast, and also smart as well. This is not just like anger for anger's sake. This is like well informed and very well placed and well aimed anger. This is not something you get often in British punk, especially with how Britain is going today. I don't know. I'll try to look out my window. I've got my curtains closed, but I know that there are neighbours over the road that have their flags up, and I heavily disagree with that. Really fucking good stuff, just lyrically, and also performance-wise as well. This is a band that has a sense of urgency to them. The lead vocalist absolutely fucking carries the chart as well, but really good stuff. By the way, the lead vocalist, I don't know if any of the band members are women, and I don't know who the woman is on the cover. I feel like it might be an important person. I haven't bothered to look it up, so if anyone would be willing to tell me, I would appreciate it. Although, there's a very good chance that after I finish recording this, I'll look it up myself and put it up in text. Maybe. I'm not sure. Instrumentation, I really like that over I gone over why. Pacing is really fucking good. It's not a super long album, I don't know how long it is, but like, gets to the point but also respects your time. And it also doesn't feel like it's getting through things too quick either. It's just really big punch after punch after punch, but like really smart and sharp, very quick, very dodgy, very bobby, very weavy. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah, instrumentation is really great. Pacing's fucking phenomenal. I love the motifs throughout the album that lean into the pacing. And the lyrics are the strongest point easily for me. Performance-wise, really good. And production-wise, I haven't gone over, but also really fucking good. Again, I love a raw and very open and very visceral feel to punk music. And in terms of the albums I'm going over today, that might be the best example of it. It's just really fucking... Oh, I love this album so much. It's a potential top 10 maker for me. I'm not really sure, but I highly recommend you go listen to it yourself, especially if you are British and you're someone who is a minority with skin that's slightly darker than mine, let's put it that way. But I highly recommend listening to it if you feel like, you know, there isn't someone that gives a shit about you. This is an album that gives a shit about you. And even though I'm, you know, privileged, I have privileged skin, it's an album that gives a shit about me as well, which I fucking appreciate because I am sick of the way this country is going, and so are the people in this band, and if you are too, listen to this album, it's fucking good. Next up, we have Lamb of God with Into Oblivion, and I sort of take back what I said earlier about Error. I would say that Lamb of God are probably the best known band I'm going to be talking about in this video. Yeah, they've been a metalcore / groove metal stalwart for a while. And I think this is their best album in a long time. There are like some more hardcore fans that would disagree with that. I will say, as someone who did a backtracking episode about Lamb of God who does enjoy them, I would say I've never been a super hardcore fan. I enjoy them when they come around. I enjoy their music, don't get me wrong. But it's not always something I'm in a hurry to go back over, except for maybe Into Oblivion. I really liked it. I enjoyed the themes from What Little I Could Get. Again, I'm not fully trusting the AI, but if I say other sources from like actual human beings to corroborate it, I really like the theme of warning what we're heading into as we progress with the future, because we're kind of fucked. And yeah, we have to sort of be prepared for that. It can feel a bit doom and gloomy, I will admit, but it's still done quite well. The instrumentation is really good. Also, thing I found on the Wikipedia page for this album is that it was the first album that the band's drummer Art Cruz recorded while sober. And I think it shows because the drumming is just so clean on this album. No pun intended, by the way. But the drumming just feels so fucking good and clean, and like the double bass work especially, the instrumentation is really good. Like not just the drums, but it is probably the biggest factor for me. I like the guitar work. And Randy Blythe is still one of the best metal vocalists ever. I've always loved like his deep and guttural sound. And yeah, the band do not skimp out on any of the heavy stuff. Really good themes, which I've gone over. Really good pacing as well, very very strong. There's a bit more melody thrown in here and there, which I appreciate, but it's still got that really good focus on the heavy, and it's groove metal, man. It's groovy. You've got to have the more melodic aspects worked in, and the band does that. And production's handled quite well as well, handled by Josh Wilbur, I believe. Well, I say I believe again. That was on the Wikipedia page that I looked up briefly before recording this bit, and yeah, really good work there. I think Josh Wilbur has produced a lot of the stuff for the band. Not fully 100% on that, but good work from him. Good work from the band. Really good chemistry as always. Randy Blythe, still one of the best frontmen in the history of metal in my humble opinion. Again, this is for a band I don't go back over a whole ton, but yeah, really enjoy this. Pacing's really good, lyrics are really good, production's really good. Performances, instrumentation, also good. Guitar work is fucking awesome, as it always kind of has been, and the drums are also really, really nice. And yeah, this is just a really good album. Probably their best album since... Oh god. There was one I remember I said I really liked when I did the backtracking episode by them, and I can't remember the fucking name of it. Text, edit, fuck it, but like... listen to this if you're someone who's been feeling out of touch with Lamb of God. I will say, when I was looking up, trying to find lyrical themes about it, I did see a post on Reddit saying that it's probably the weakest album and they feel complacent. No, they probably feel the least complacent on this album, especially compared to the previous two, which were also solid, but it did feel like a bit too much like, oh, well, Lamb of God, we don't have to try that hard. This album at least feels like, to me, oh, let's try a little bit harder, and I think it works for the most part, and it works really, really well, which is why the album works for me. And finally, we have Poison the Well with Peace in Place. Now, if this is a new sounding band to you, it was a new sounding band to me as well, until I was looking into them like a couple of weeks ago when I was really listening to all the stuff I'd gathered for what I wanted to re-listen to for this video for my March catch-ups. And this is actually the band's first album in 17 years, and they've been around since 1997. They broke up like a couple of times, but they've been properly back for a while. And this is their first album in 17 years. And I didn't listen to them before this. I didn't know they existed before this one. Holy shit, this is some really good, sludgy ass feeling, low down, dirty ass metal. So it is like presented as a metalcore album, but it feels a lot darker than that. I feel like the metalcore thing is a bit misleading. And I want to go with the performances, like, first and foremost. Holy shit, they're amazing. This is a band that do not have any rust on them whatsoever, and it shows that, like, they feel like they've been at this for a long time, but good lord, it doesn't feel like they've been gone for that long. And I say this knowing, again, this is my first album by them, this is my introduction to them, so I can only recommend it as an introduction to others. To others who want to try and get into this style of music, but holy fuck, this is not a band that feels like they've been gone for 17 years, I love the lyrical themes focused on disillusionment in relationships and broken friendships, and the time that can hurt you the worst when you let it fester. That is a very fucking interesting theme to me, and it's handled so fucking well, and it's written so well as well, and I'll just say it, like, the last song of the album, Plague Them the Most, is probably my favourite closing song of the year so far. 9 minutes long, and it does have this nice hidden section that leads into something really fucking wonderful near the end. Trust me, it's worth it. It's worth the album's over 42-minute runtime. I like the work rate a lot from the band, the vocals are fucking amazing, but to me it is the instrumentation that stands out the most. There's just some really good heavy stuff. Again, it doesn't feel like the traditional style of metalcore, but then again, this is a band that formed in the 90s. Back then, metalcore was a lot less commercialized feeling compared to how it can sound today. I mean, if I'm looking for a band like that, I would say Error is probably the closest to like a commercialized feeling metalcore band, but if you want something that's definitely not that, is probably Poison the Well, I would say. Really love how dirty things feel. It feels like raw and honest and open, and surprisingly emotive, which you don't expect from like metalcore bands that have been around for nearly 30 years. It just feels like it manages to get everything right somehow. Really good. Pacing is fucking great as well. I know I talked about the last song, but every other song leading up to that point is so well handled. And another standout track is Thoroughbreds, which is probably everyone else's favourite song of the album. And it is a really good song, but to me, Plague Them the Most is the best song of the album. But I like Thoroughbreds, and I like pretty much every other song on the album. Really good production as well. I like how down-toned it feels, and it really helps a lot with bringing that raw, almost, for lack of a better term, flesh and bone feeling to the mix, which I think helps the whole time. Performances, again, I've already said they're really great. Lyrics are really great, instrumentation is really great, production's really great, pacing's really great as well. Yeah, really good guitar work. The bass and drums especially as well. You don't get to hear those in the mix a whole lot when it comes to metalcore, but it really fucking works. And again, this is not your generic, like, modern day pretty boy sounding Ice Nine Kills feeling metalcore. This is an older feeling style with a lot of grit to it in every aspect, but like with a really relatable theme at its core, which, again, not something you get in most metalcore from a sort of, for lack of a better term, bygone era. But like, fuck, man, like, welcome back to welcome back to Poison the Well. I almost said Peace in Place for some reason. That's the name of the album. But welcome back to these guys. I'm definitely going to look forward to going over your back catalogue, because holy fucking impressed me with this one. And that'll about do it. I will see you soon for whatever the hell I wind up posting next. And as always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye.